Committee to order. I think. There, now we go. Waiting for the light. So we have 9 and 11 Kent Street. They actually do not have to come to TAC, but they're doing some off-site improvements or work in the city right-of-way off of Rockland Street. So I think this is in advance of going to the zoning board for some variances. They wanted to come to TAC to get some feedback on utilities and grading and such. So, John, turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, members. Exactly that. This project won't go through formal TAC, but we're doing some things in the city right away, so we want to get your feedback. 911 Kent Street is an existing duplex. With me today is the owner, Mr. Smith, and Robbie Woodburn from Woodburn Company. So Mr. Smith wants to do a replacement structure. And right now, there's an existing structure, and then there's an old garage that's kind of disassociated from Rockland Street. Yep, that's a good one. So on the right there, so the right rear of the property is a garage, but it's really not accessed by pavement or who knows when it was used as a garage. But going forward, that's the existing. The house and the garage will be removed, and then going to the proposed plan, a similar structure. But it's enlarged for the basement level, so there's a dotted line at the edge that is the extent of the basement. And instead of putting a garage, the owner would like to have a drive under. There's some grade change from the southwest corner on Kent Street to the end of Rockland Street. But there is a profile that shows we will be going down to get into the basement level off of Rockland Street. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about was providing some positive drainage for that. And we've got some feedback from DPW, so that's good. Also, the Rockland Street is kind of an odd dead end. So we wanted to be sure everybody was comfortable with putting a driveway at that location. And I don't know, this Robbie has an extensive landscape plan. It involves some street trees. She's been doing trees and greenery. One tree is going to be relocated and another one planted. And that was approved
Last Wednesday?
last Wednesday.
Thursday? Wednesday? Last week.
We did a drainage analysis, so the drainage is going to be handled by capturing the roof runoff, and the terrace on the west side in the back is porous, and below the terrace is a storage area, and that will attenuate the peak flow from the site. So we're also addressing drainage. I think that's really the things we're here for, to have you look at the off-site grading, the drainage, and the driveway location. So be glad to answer any questions that you have, and look forward to your feedback on the design.
All right. Open it up for any comments.
Question, yeah. Is this sprinklered or not sprinklered for the new home? The fire suppression? No?
It's fireproof windows on the abutting side, and that's the only, I guess that would be mitigation.
So no sprinkler system,
sprinkler.
which is fine. I'm just curious because that would reduce the need for some other. So the windows, and also your architect will probably tell you, but also the wall sheathing, and
Yep.
that entire wall will need to be fire resistant.
She's aware of that.
Okay. Yeah.
We contemplated sprinklers, but with a 7 and 8-year-old who like to play football in the house, it would almost definitely get activated.
You
Why
can
is
do
that?
concealed heads, but yeah.
Yeah, they have concealed heads now.
Oh, okay.
They're flush with the ceiling, you can't see them.
It might be worth revisiting.
So where are you guys in Public Works in respect to the utility questions in the right-of-way? And I think that is,
So
as John
this,
said.
the DPW is not in favor of the plan as drawn. However, I have given the applicant a sketch of utility design that would work for us. And here they have that.
Okay, that's good. Good to know that.
Change the design, the layout, or anything of the site?
Site, no. Includes putting a catch basin to drain the end of Rockland Street. Right now, we're having a bunch of water that comes down Kent and Rockland that turns our park soggy. So this would actually address some city issues as well.
Okay.
So that off-site drain that goes into the park,
Yep.
that'll have catch basin on it too, or just infiltration out there?
There's a 54-inch concrete pipe down at the bottom of the embankment that they could tie into.
Oh, great.
And from there, it goes into the treatment unit and into the pond.
It's a big treatment unit.
It is.
Oh, the big squirrel concentrator there,
Yeah, it's the size of an apartment building. Yeah,
Yeah.
50,000 gallons or something like
yeah.
that.
Yep, it's big.
Are you guys good with the driveway material in the right-of-way? As proposed?
We're fine. There's no sidewalk, so it's not an issue.
Okay.
Are people gonna be turning around in that driveway? Is that? Are you guys?
People meaning
Probably
us or
No, I mean,
the
you're-
public?
The public.
Yeah.
And I guess part of that is our plow gonna need to turn around there, or do they just push and then back out?
No, it's short enough to just back up and back into Kansas City.
So we don't need any easement or anything? You might get people turning around in there, but probably not too many.
Not as many as if it was flat.
So it sounds like what you get,
So just to clarify, you do need to follow the driveway permit ordinance.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
first 12 inches has to be asphalt, and then you can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Yep. Do you want me to file, I'll file a driveway
We'll need a
permit.
driveway permit, yes, because there's not a driveway there now.
Right,
You also need a stormwater permit, once there's something to connect to.
okay.
The sewer lateral, as we discussed, is new, up to the, behind the curb line, so you're gonna wanna reuse that. And then the water service is no doubtedly a 3/4 inch, so it's gonna need to be upgraded.
And Jen showed a bathroom in the basement, so if you want to have a bathroom in the basement, we'll have to pump it up. First floor.
So you didn't hear me when I told them that, but because they have a half bath shown on the basement level, which is below the elevation of the gravity sewer line anyway, but they'll have to pump that up to a gravity, and then the rest of the house can flow gravity out.
Right,
Okay, just because we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to have an open sewer connections below grade.
Wow,
It's not
sure.
allowed by ordinance.
So is the north wall right on the property line? Is that right?
It's very close.
Am I reading this correctly?
So,
The one on the Kent Street side is right on the property line. It would be built to not have the footing go under, but the ones on the northern side facing Rockland are pulled back from the
you mean the
property.
retaining wall or the building wall?
The foundation wall. So I'm just wondering
Yeah,
about, because
foundation
the foundation land's right on the line, and you got to over excavate for your foundation, if you work that out with the abutters,
Here, on this the southern line.
Yeah,
Southern?
the building.
any line really, but, you want to make sure, because you can't just, excavate right up to the side. We need 3 feet for safety and,
The builder has spoken to the abutters.
okay. So we won't get a call saying, hey, they're digging on my property,
I don't think that's a.
No, the builder's been made fully aware that they have to follow OSHA, and if it means
right?
well,
taking some of the abutting.
what do you do to protect everybody when they ask for that excavation permit? What do you get for confirmation rather than, yeah,
Well,
we'll
it'd be
talk to
nice
you?
having a narrative or some sort of a letter from the abutter saying
That's
that
what
we
they're doing,
approve,
yeah.
The excavation on our property and the overall construction.
And maybe attach a site plan to the letter so it's clear
Yeah, that would be
person
helpful.
signing it is clear on what they're getting into. Yeah. I'd say the only other thing that I could see, at least from a zoning perspective, we'll need to get you to the BOA is an analysis of the building height. So if you can go around the building and calculate the average grade and what the height of the building is, we'll just make sure there isn't an issue there.
Yeah, do you know how high the retaining wall is? I saw a retaining wall on the plan.
Which one?
On the driveway side, I think it was.
So the driveway one, the bottom of the wall is 28.5, and the top of the wall is, sorry, it doesn't read, where is it? The grade outside, 28.5 is the top of the wall, bottom wall is 23, so it's 5.5 feet tall, when it meets the house.
So does that,
There'll be a railing at the top.
there'll be a railing on
Yep,
top of
yep.
that?
The fence that's there is 36 inches high, so we're good.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing that I would strongly suggest, and I'm not sure if zoning tackles this or not, but is some sort of a maintenance easement to the abutter, because otherwise you will not be able to maintain your siding, your window, whatever you need to do. You're going to be, essentially trespassing.
To even
Your
clean the
neighbors
windows.
might be nice now, but if they sell and the new neighbors come along, so I've seen that happen before as well. If you can get a maintenance easement in there for 3 feet, 4 feet, whatever you need for the width of a ladder or a man lift.
Nick, just on the average grade plane, because it's interesting that the terrace is a structure too. Would we do around the house or around the entirety of the house and the terrace?
I'll have to look at that. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Is it one structure or?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna change the average grade plane much, if at all. We could calc them both if you want.
May as well. That's it for me.
And the trees in the front are existing
The-
on the Kent Street side?
On the Kent Street side, there are 2 existing trees. They don't show on my plan, but John picked them up on the survey. They're there.
Yep.
Recently planted, they're new city trees.
Okay. And the one you relocated, or was relocated, is relocated? I don't know.
Yeah, the one we located, if you can see it on the existing conditions, it falls right where the driveway is. So we moved it sideways, and then we added another one because there's an apple that is on our property that we're getting rid of. So we're going to do 2 trees out there, one for the one in the right away and one that we're removing.
So the proposed tree and the replanted tree, those two on your
Correct.
plan?
Correct, yes.
And they're both apple trees?
No, they're both liquid ambars with sweet gums,
Sweet
which is
gums.
what is there now.
Great.
So there's an existing home there you're tearing down, is that right?
Duplex, yeah.
You're going to level that, okay. So you'll do the whole demolition review process and permit and
They won't need to.
placard, what's that?
They won't need to if they go through for the variances, and the variances make clear it's being demolished, which is kind of obvious with the application.
You'll still need a demo permit, right? You just
Yeah,
won't need
you
to-
will, but
Right.
you won't need the
Delay.
demolition.
Notification
review.
and
Correct.
everything else, right, at this point, yeah.
Any other comments or concerns from anyone? No?
Well, thanks for gathering for a short
Sure,
time. We
yeah.
appreciate it.
Sure.
Be back.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Adjourned.